The impact of new tariffs will be wide-reaching. They'll affect the cost of construction materials, steel, aluminum, lumber, lead to higher prices for developments and for renovations, build out of existing spaces. Most likely the costs will be passed on to buyers and tenants, making these projects and commercial properties in general more expensive. In response to the inflationary pressures caused by the tariffs, central banks may raise interest rates, and higher borrowing costs would also further slow down real estate activity. Similar to the pandemic, I think these tariffs will be especially hard for the retail sector, as higher costs of goods could reduce spending, potentially lead to even more store closures. We might also see another wave of supply chain disruptions, potentially similar to what we saw during the pandemic. The supply chain disruptions could result in an increased demand for industrial properties, as companies may require more warehouse space to account for the new cost structures and trade restrictions. And in general, a further shift toward e-commerce could result in increased demand for industrial. Ideally, the administration's goal is to have reshoring occur, which could create this increased demand for industrial spaces, but that doesn't happen overnight. Companies could take a long time to relocate, factories a long time to build, and the high cost of doing so. Plus, paying American wages will be, higher American labor wages could make products even more expensive for American consumers. So more domestic manufacturing doesn't necessarily mean a better economy. I think a lot of this will depend on how long the tariffs last, and most certainly there could be big effects in the commercial real estate industry.
That was an incredible answer. I don't have a lot to add other than, the big misconception is that we lost manufacturing jobs to other countries, when in fact, we lost manufacturing jobs to technology advancements and automation, which is exactly what progress means. And so even when these companies reshore, there aren't jobs to necessarily bring back to manufacturing. So I really have a tough time seeing if there's going to be any benefit from the tariffs on the commercial real estate market. What Diana mostly spoke about was the negative impacts. And I think there'll be tremendous negative impacts if the tariffs remain in effect.